Hello and welcome to You Can with Suzanne. That's me. I'm so happy that you're here today. I don't even know where to start. I'm so excited. And goodness gracious, we have a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about, and it's all good stuff. Let's see. Everything that you're going to see on this show is going to make you happy or smarter. So it's one or the other. You're guaranteed that. You watch this show. We are on every Thursday at 6:30, and then again at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So obviously I'm very full of energy, non-caffeinated, mind you, and I always have a lot of good stuff to say. So what the heck is this show going to be about, even though I already told you? This is about empowerment. So why is it called You Can? Well, it's because you can. And so we're going to have a whole bunch of guests and pieces and segments about overcoming obstacles, how to deal with adversity, all those things that you always wanted to do when you were young, and everyone's saying, you can't and you shouldn't, and all that other stuff. I'm going to help you understand why it's okay to not pay attention to that. I think it's so important that you do what you want to do. As long as you're doing the right thing for the right reasons and you're not hurting anybody, all the power to you. That's what I am about. And that's pretty much what this show is going to be about. I'm thrilled and mega super excited, and I could tell that you are too, because I could see your aura, and I could see you getting happier and happier and happier. And that's just the impact that I have on people. I'm a Leo, and Leo is sunshine, right? So we're going to shine. We're going to shine. So today, I wanted to talk about, look at my little note here, not only your well-being, but, well, let's go there. Your well-being. What is the status of your well-being? Are you happy? Are you hung up on something? Aha, you are. Because I just saw the thing going off in your head and you're like, oh, that's right. So-and-so said this about me and I really want to do that, but I don't know if I'll have time. But I really got to get there, but I can't. Right? We need to wipe the darn slate clean. Learn how to prioritize better and learn how to do this. And I know you're not doing this. This is something you're going to learn how to do. Put you first. Do that. We don't know how, especially we as women, because we take care of everybody. We take care of pets and children and our parents, and we're always last on the list. Always, 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 always. Right? So let's start to learn how to settle down, breathe, and understand ways to put yourself first. Because guess what? If you're not strong, if you're not whole, if you're not full, then there's not enough of you to go around. Think like a big, nice glass of water, right? If you only have a couple drops left in there, and what happens if you put the glass in the sun? It gets all dried up and there's nothing left. And then you have to get up and try to take care of everybody and water your plants. There's nothing left. So we want to keep that glass of water nice and cool and clear and happy. And I teach a workshop about keeping your water happy. You can find more of that online, but we're not going to talk about that now. Okay, so your well-being. We want to be whole. We want to feel loved, and we want to be able to give love. And a lot of times, when you don't put yourself first, that's broken. So you can tell that we have a lot to cover. So I hope that you will join me every week right here, however you're watching this program. And we'll have happy tidbits and wonderful guests. Now, a little piece I wanted to talk about today is your environment. What does your environment look like? What's around you right now? Look at your walls. Look down. What kind of flooring do you have? What colors are around you? What are you dressed in? Are you comfortable? Why not? Get comfortable. Go ahead and take your pants off if you're home. We like to take our pants off when we get home from work. Go ahead and do that. Get comfortable. Lighten up, for Pete's sakes. Think about what are the colors that you love? Like, one of my favorite colors is maroon, almost like black red. I love that color. I love purple too. I've been wearing my hair purple since 2010. I love it. I don't do it to impress you. I do it because I love how it makes me feel. When I'm driving in my car and the sun comes through and I look in the mirror and I see that purple, I'm like, ooh, I love that. I love how that makes me feel. I want that for you. So wrap yourself in the colors and the textures that make you so happy. And you don't have to go and buy new stuff. I'm not telling you to go to Lord & Taylor. Nah. Go to the thrift store. Go to Ambets. Go to Savers. Look on the discount rack. Go to garage sales. And wash the stuff, because we don't like what it smells like when we get it from one of those places. But then, when you put it on, you're going to feel so wonderful because you chose it. The color resonated with you. The texture resonated with you. I once gave a speech at a college. And yeah, it is on YouTube somewhere. And it's called the underwear speech. And I won't give it again, but the gist of it was, get some new underwear. And nobody needs to know what you have underneath. Okay, now whatever kind of your favorite underwear might be, it might be a thong, or it might be polka dots, or it might be lacy or frilly or something, but something. Let it be new. Get it, something new for yourself. And you put that on when you're getting ready for work that day, and just see if you don't have a little extra spring in your step. It works. Try it, and I want to hear from you. So little things like that. It doesn't need to take a lot of money, but it's mind over matter. So when you have the things that just make you feel awesome, you don't have to share why. If somebody's like, oh, why are you in such a good mood today? You don't have to tell them, it's the underwear. You don't have to tell them. You just know, and you feel awesome. And then your outlook starts to change. And then you want to do more stuff. And then wonderful things start to happen. Here's a little story for you. I once was in a very dark place for many, many years. And when I moved to my new house, and I was still in this very dark place, and my mailman had come, and I said to my mailman, why don't you ever bring me anything good? Do you want to know what the mailman said? Buy something. Ooh. Yeah, so things will not just float to you. You have to go after it. You have to initiate action to bring the things that you want into your life. And think of this too. I want you to remember this, that you attract what you are. Not who you want to be down there. Not who you admire down there. What you are. What you are today, right now, is what you attract. So think about that. Go ahead and buy those new underwear. Get that extra spring in your step. And feel awesome because you deserve it. Got it? All right. My name is Suzanne Suchan. And if Sue can, you can too. That is my motto. I have a wonderful guest. I'm delighted to share her experience, and it has to do with environment as well. Welcome, please, Paula D'Amico, owner of Blessings by Nature. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Sue. So happy to be here.
So plants, that's the name of your game.
Right, that is the name of my name and my game. My name, I say, because my maiden name is Green, Green.
Aha.
Yeah, so there's a connection there. There's a lot of connections. So what I do is I bring great things into people's lives using the power of plants.
How?
You see, it is an ancient tradition that dates back thousands of years ago, the beginning of time, when people used plants. They introduced plants into their lives medicinally and spiritually, and they found great things in their lives. So this is what I do. I help to educate people a little bit more on the meaning and the purpose of plants and how they can bring good things into your life. So it's not just introducing a plant into your life and you come home, you go to the florist or you go to the local nursery and you buy yourself a plant and you put it on the table and you're like, there you go. Do your magic. Well, there's a little bit more to it. There's a reason why you picked out that plant. Either you knew of the reason or you were just, like you were mentioning, that you can just gravitate to certain colors and certain clothing. People gravitate to certain plants. It's the way they look. It's the way they smell. They taste. They appear. They want to have that in their life. They want to have that beauty in their life. And if they look into what those particular plants mean, they'll find this amazing connection between why they were attracted to that particular plant and why they needed that plant into their life.
Give me an example.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the plants we have right here. I don't know if we can get a shot of them, but right here in the front here, we've got some impatiens, and we have something called a golden pathos. And golden pathos, when you talk about, not in a spiritual sense, but in a more of a medicinal sense, I bet a lot of you have those at home because those are really great plants because they're hard to kill.
I've got a whole bunch of them.
These are what you call great for those of you out there that are brown thumbers, okay? So these plants thrive in our homes, but you don't know, what you may not know is that they're great for the air in your home. They help to filter the air in your home. Not so good for your pets, so you keep your pets away from them, but they do provide this wonderful natural filtration, which most plants do. They provide you with that great filtration. So that's your golden pathos. Now the other plants in the front there are your impatiens. So which a lot of people are picking up right now at their local nursery. And I brought impatiens because we have to, there's several reasons why. First of all, we need to be patient with our plants. So I thought that would be a good reminder to bring some impatiens. And they really do help to bring patience and charity and love and even passion into your life. So when we talk about meanings for plants, we talk about different meanings for plants. These are meanings that have been introduced and passed on from generation to generation for thousands of years. So I didn't go home last night when I got out of work and said to myself, you know what, I'm going to bring some impatiens to Suzanne's show. And I think they mean impatience or patience. I think that's a good idea. I didn't. These are meanings that have been passed on from generation to generation for thousands of years. Somebody at some point introduced that plant into their life and found that it brought great things into their lives through passion, or maybe it was charity, and they said, wow, this brings a lot of passion into my life. That's really incredible. I'm going to try it again. And then they reintroduce it into their life. They said, yes, it did it again. It brought that passion into my life. I'm going to tell my friend. So they tell their friend, who tells their friend, who tells their friend, and that's how these meanings have come about. They have been introduced from someone, somewhere around this world, and it's brought a great thing into their life, and that's where these meanings come from.
That is so cool.
Isn't that cool?
So, like, every plant has a meaning?
Yes, every plant has a meaning.
How many do you know?
Well, I know a lot, but I don't know all, because guess what? Guess how many plants there are in this world? It's a good fact.
A lot.
Okay, so here's a fun fact. So there are about 375,000 different species of plants in this world.
Oh boy.
10,000 of which are herbs, and I talk a lot about herbs.
Oh my gosh.
So
wait, there's 10,000 herb plants?
Yes, but that's just species of plants. So there can be like other types of there's lavender, but there's different species of lavender as well. So there are, and scientists are discovering more every year. So you can imagine how many plants there are out there and how many meanings of plants there are out there too. So it's really like endless. I could bring up, a plant and a meaning every day for years. Wow. Literally. But around Western New York, I call myself the life gardener because I like to like you, I like to bring positivity into people's lives. I use it through using the power of plants to help people realize how introducing a plant into their lives in different ways can help bring those great things. So you can bring a live plant into your life. You can bring a dried herb or a dried flower into your life. You can use that plant in combination with water. You mentioning the power of water. All these different ways to introduce these natural, powerful gifts. And you can bring great stuff into your life. You know, I talk about the reason why we bring these natural gifts into our lives is because we are creating this recipe for a better life. You know, we all have these recipes that we love to make for ourselves, right? That fortify our bodies. I make homemade sauce and meatballs on Sunday. That's my forte, okay? And I won't tell you what we call them, but I make spaghetti and meatballs on a Sunday. And that fortifies my body and my family's body, and sometimes, you know, friends as well. But when you incorporate plants into your life, you are creating this recipe for a better life in a spiritual sense. So it's a different recipe that you're creating for your life. And you know what? I can't really create that recipe for you. You create that recipe for yourself, because only you know what you need in your life. You know, so if you need say you need some protection in your life, or whatever it is, could be a variety of reasons, you want to introduce a little bit of juniper into your life. And I always tell people, like, you know, it's so interesting when you think about juniper. You're like, juniper? You mean the bushes that are outside my house? Yeah. And they stand there like soldiers protecting you and your family.
Ooh.
So you can see where a lot of these meanings had come into play for people. Another good example is anise. I love talking about anise.
Isn't that what you put on Christmas cookies?
That is what you put in Christmas cookies. And think about that anise. When you have those delicious anise cookies around Christmas time, right? And you are sitting at that big dining room table with all those anise cookies, and all of you are sitting there enjoying your cookies, that great holiday time. Man, there's a lot of love going on there. Guess what? Anise helps to bring love into your life. So isn't that fascinating? I just love it. My story starts about 11 years ago when I lost my dad. And if any of you out there have ever lost anybody in your life, you know how difficult it is to, and I don't even want to say bounce back, but just to kind of get back to where you were in your life. And losing my dad really put a hole in my heart. And I tried all sorts of different things to try to get myself back on track. You know, I did a lot of crying, I did journaling, I even did counseling. Nothing worked for me. At that point, my husband was kind of throwing up his hands and going, I don't know what to do with you. And then my son, who was only about 5 at the time, he looked at my husband and he said, why is mommy so sad all the time? So I knew I had to do something. I just didn't know what to do. So I got a call from my bestie, and she was looking into holistic medicine for her daughter. Her daughter was having some digestive issues. And she said, you know, I'm meeting some really incredible people that are doing some amazing things. You should come and experience it. And I said, okay, game on, because what did I have to lose? Nothing, right? So I started to introduce myself to holistic medicine and practices, and found how marvelous and exciting and invigorating and healing all this was. And the one thing that I was drawn to more than anything else was Fung Shui. And Feng Shui is this ancient art of not just healing, but its placement and increasing qi in your life. And an offshoot of Feng Shui is using the power of plants. And that every plant, herb, mineral, grain, resin all have meaning. You introduce that meaning into your life, and you can deliver great things into your life. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I think this is super cool. I'm going to start doing that. And that's exactly what I did. So I started introducing plants into my life. I already had plants in my life, but with more of meaning and intention. And then in addition to that, then I started doing something called saging and smudging. So, which is using, for me, I like to use a loose combination of herbs because, you know, we just talked about using that recipe for a better life. And that's like creating that recipe. You know, when you make your sauce, you know, you use your, well, I'm not giving my recipe out. Sorry. But I will give my meatball recipe out. So when you're making your meatballs, you've got your ground meat, you've got your onion, you've got your herbs, you've got maybe a little egg, a little breadcrumbs in there, and you're mixing it all up, and then you roll your balls, you throw them in the sauce. Okay, that's your recipe for those delicious meatballs. So if you're going to create a recipe for yourself, there's certain things that you're looking for yourself, right? So you're going to grab maybe some sage. That's usually the basis of all the saging and smudging, because that clears out all the negative stuff. All that caca, that's a technical term, by the way. Caca energy, right? And then you're going to throw in the things that you really, really need, that you really want in your life. So maybe you're looking for a little bit of love. You're going to throw a little anise in there. Maybe some lavender for some peace and balance. A little juniper for protection. And then maybe a little sunflower for happiness. So now you've created this really awesome recipe for yourself. And then you're going to do a little saging and smudging with it, which is actually burning those herbs. It's an ancient tradition. It spans generations and religious beliefs around the globe.
I smudge.
So that's great. Yeah. That's awesome.
I love it to smudge.
And, you know, some people will some people what am I trying to say here? Some people will not attack, will attach, I guess, the idea of saging and smudging with certain beliefs. Right. And guess what? It really is something that has been done around the globe for thousands of years. So you can trace it back to the days of ancient Egypt and Israel and Rome and Native American tribes. It's been around the world for a long, long time, spreading all sorts of religious beliefs. And introducing that into your life is one great way of bringing the good stuff into your life. So I love doing a little saging and smudging, and that's what I started doing. And then all of a sudden I found, wow, I feel so much better. My house feels better. My family feels better. Everything feels so much better. This is so cool. I'm going to share this with my friends. And so I shared it with family and friends. And, you know, just like we talked about the meaning, you know, one person shared it with another person and with another person, and on and on and on. That's how I started to share what I do with people, you know, one more person, and then two people, and then three people. And now I just share it with people around the world, really, because I do talk to people around the world. Wow. And it's amazing. You know, it's not something that I can claim for myself. I didn't come up with it. You know, these ideas, these beliefs, these practices are just a few thousand years old. But you know what? They're tried and true. They're amazing, and they're healing, and they can help you in so many different ways.
Can I quiz you on one of them?
Oh, gosh, I hope I pass the test. Woo, I don't know. Okay, let's go.
Lemongrass.
Lemongrass. Lemongrass is good for, well, anything with lemon in it is very, when you're talking medicinal-wise, you're going to talk about cleansing, detoxifying, and that's what lemongrass is good for too on a spiritual level as well.
Sometimes that's in the smudging stuff.
Absolutely, it's for detoxifying and getting rid of, you know, we said sage is good for that too, and so is that. Any kind of grass actually is very good to help to uplift your spirit and deliver good things into your life.
Excellent, because I love lemongrass.
I do too. I do too, absolutely.
Yeah, sweet. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I'm not going to quiz you again.
Okay.
Because that's my personal favorite is lemongrass.
Sweat bullets here a little bit, going, oh my gosh, holy cannolis.
What about rosemary?
Rosemary. Rosemary is good for a couple of things. It actually is really great to have near your television or your computer. It helps to absorb the electromagnetic energy that comes off of that TV or computer. And then as far as the spiritual end of it, it helps to encourage friendships and helps to get rid of fear. And there's an old wives' tale that if you take a little sprig of rosemary, ladies, and you put it right in your bra strap, it will help protect you throughout the course of your day.
Ooh, and it smells wonderful,
and it smells
too.
awesome, and it tastes delicious. It's super good for you. It's good for migraines. Really great.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
So, you know, if you've got migraines, throw it in your water. Let it sit there overnight so it infuses with the water, and it should help your headaches a little bit.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's an awesome tip. Holy moly, macaroni and cheese. It's almost the end already.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me?
You know, we just get to talking, and all of a sudden, boop, we're out of time. You can find Paula online. Her website is blessingsbynature.com, right?
Yes.
And, and you also make some wonderful syrup, if we could just mention real quick about that.
Sure, absolutely. So there's a couple of syrups I make, and they're, again, recipe's only a few thousand years old. It's thyme syrup and elderberry syrup. Those are the popular ones that I make, and those are both for cold, flu, bronchitis, different ailments like along those lines.
And that's really going on a lot in the Northeast right now.
Absolutely. If you have infections, if you're dealing with this stuff that a lot of us are dealing with, if you work in close quarters and you're trying to get past it, this is one way to boost your immune system, help you conquer whatever it is that's ailing you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so very much.
pleasure.
Paula rocks. I love her. Okay, so she also makes these cool little sachets. Even though I know we're almost out of time, I didn't want to let this go because I have one of each. This one is Protect. That was when I first met Paula. It's awesome. And then this one is the most recent one I got. And guess what it is? It's Success. Oh, yeah. Oh, it is awesome. So I wish you could smell these, but they're very wonderful. And can people get these online as well?
Yes, they can get them online.
Awesome. So blessingsbynature.com, and you can peruse Paula's shop. And then also she's everywhere speaking and presenting and stuff like that. Now, there's also, I have two things left I want to share with you. One is that we are both in the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and that is a super awesome business. It's a non-for-profit organization that promotes heart-based businesses. So Paula's the president and I'm the vice president of the Buffalo Downtown chapter. And if you have a heart-based business, I encourage you to go to the Holistic Chamber of Commerce's website and learn about it and join us, for Pete's sake, because it's super awesome fun. We meet at Ashker's, they have good food, lots of reasons. And then finally, June 23rd to 25th is the Exposure Concert. And if you don't know what that is yet, then I'm not doing a good job. It's the 8th year I've put this on. It's a 3-day concert happening at the Cove, 4701 Transit Road in Depew. 50 bands, 3 days, 2 stages, streaming live around the world to raise awareness for domestic violence, because that was a life that I lived in for 22 years. I have been out and free for 9, and I have been kicking butt for the past 5. And look at me, I got my own TV show. And guess what? Because if Sue can, you can too. You can do whatever you want to. Don't let people tell you no. Don't let anyone hold you down. Cut off negativity and toxicity, and I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining us.